Well, it's Thursday, and you all know what that means. So today is going to be a little bit different. Reason is because TNA did not have an actual a show like we normally would watch, to review and all that other stuff. They normally focus on Bound for Glory, calling it Fade to Black, which is kind of interesting because that's the title name of Metallica's song Fade to Black. But who who am I kidding? But anyway, I decided not to do that. So just focus on Ring of Honor and of course New Japan's Super Junior Tag League. So we're going to focus on those two. Ring of Honor, we're going to feature many matches. But of course, as you know, with New Japan, with the Super Junior Tag League, it's just the opening round. And there's some interesting matches I did not anticipate to see, but it'll be fun. And as always, we'll wrap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can do it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, I'm guessing some of you have been noticing what's been going on. Yeah, my light's been acting up. Feels like since we're in October, it feels like the poltergeist just came into my house. Yeah, I need to switch the light bulb, guys. If I can't do it today, I really need to get this over with because it really sucks. But anyway, let's begin with our first review, and I apologize for that. Let's start with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think we're going to do this throughout the entire episode, so let's focus on that. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We are now beginning the annual round robin tournament Super Junior Tag League. Now, before I proceed, some of you may question what the hell is Super Junior Tag League, J-Rod? I never heard of it. Well, as you know, New Japan has two different type of weight divisions, the junior heavyweight division and the heavyweight division. Well, this one, boys and girls, is the junior heavyweight tag team division. So basically, we have every tag team involved in the junior heavyweight division involved, not from every faction. Of course, the current champions are the most hated guys on the planet, Doki and Sho, the members of the House of Losers. Now, of course, when it comes to this, you know how it properly works with the point system. If you win a match, you get 2 points. Lose a match, 0 points. But in the situation of a time limit draw or count out, well, it's 1 point each. So basically, That's how it is. But of course, when it comes to calculation of this, yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, it's the calculation that gets messed up because it gets really confusing when we get there. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. So we have about 6 teams involving and 2 blocks. We have the A block and the B block. So I will be revealing which one it is. So let's focus on those instead because there is one match, a non tournament match. Now we start with the A block, consistent of the United Empire, Templario, and Jacob Austin Young taking on, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I'm talking about Sho and Doki, the House of Losers, and our current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. So you probably can guess how that's going to go. Now, there's one, as you all know, Sho has a tendency to go up to the mic and say, "Hey, losers, just do yourself a favor, quit, because you guys are weak." But the one thing I like is Jacob Austin said something in English, in Japanese. I don't know what he said, but however, Templario, many of you who know who he is, he's a Mexican wrestler. He tells him, and I apologize for quoting him on this. If you guys don't like profanity, he says, "Chinga tu madre pendejos." So basically, told them to go f themselves. So basically, that's how it is. And of course, they attacked them anyway. Templario and Jacob Austin just attacked them. But of course, when it comes to the House of Losers, we know their tactics. They like to cheat. That's always been who they are. Now, the usual tactics did not work, but however, when Doki applied a backslide, he used, of course, the ropes for assistance. The ref did not even see it. And just like that, it was a highway robbery. So basically, Tweedledee and Tweedledum actually won, and they got 2 points, which was a real disappointment for the United Empire. Now, we jump into the B block. We have the other members of the House of Losers. We're talking about Dick Togo and Yoshinobu Kanemaru taking on Robbie X and Taiji Shimori of the War Dogs. Now, of course, when it comes to these 2 other losers, of course, Dick and Kanemaru, you all know what they're going to try to do. I mean, Kanemaru has the whiskey, but that did not stop, of course, the War Dogs to pick up their first 2 points when they applied, when Robbie X applied the X Express onto a Dick, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And I thought it was a pretty impressive match. So, War Dogs get 2 points. Now, our next match, we had a very interesting team up. Now, you saw recently, we saw some sort of peace treaty between the War Dogs and the unaffiliated, formerly members of the LIJ, and now they're doing these makeshift teams. Daiki Nagai teams up with Clark Connors, and of course he was doing the 2-Sweet, which was kind of weird. And then of course Geto teams up with Haramu. Now Haramu has the tendency to mess around with his mustache, and of course no one hold back, not going to be live, but I don't know what just happened in the end, because Geto just tripped Hiramu, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And then, of course, when Geto tried to, of course, talk to Clark Connors, unaware to him, Hiramu pinned Daiki when he applied a Geto clutch. And I'm like thinking, wait a minute, did they set this whole thing up? I'm like, did they work together to play this game? I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, Jesus, this is rather bizarre, and I don't think Clark Connors saw that coming, but I mean, yeah. But that's what happened, guys. Now, we jump into the A block. We have Yuki Yoshioka. Many of you know him from Dragon Gate and part of the Courage. So yeah, so he teams up with, of course, Kushida, and they take on Tiger Mask and, of course, another wrestler from Dragon Gate, Yamato. So it's interesting to see 2 wrestlers in Dragon Gate participate, but in different teams. I wasn't too sure where this is going to go. I mean, Tiger Mask is a veteran wrestler, but not to mention he's on the verge of retirement soon. And Kushida, well, we all know his reputation as one of the best tag teams in best junior heavyweight competitors in all over Japan, and that's one of the things that makes him good. But however, I did like the combination of how Tiger Mask and Kushida countered each other in certain moments, but it was Kushida that walked away with the win when he applied a armbar, and just like that, Tiger Mask just tapped out, giving Kushida and Yuki Yoshioka their first 2 points. Now, our next match, we jump back to the A block. We have Dragon Dia and Ryusuke Taguchi, known as Skateboard Brothers. They take on 2/3 of the never openweight six-man tag team champions, Yo and Master Wato, which is, of course, a very interesting matchup. Wasn't too sure where this is going to go. I mean, yeah, and also what's interesting, for many of you who have forgotten, Master Wato and Taguchi used to known as the 6 or 9, of course, as a tag team together, but now they're the opposite direction. And of course, they try to, with Taguchi, he has these unusual tactics where he pulls his pants down and try to teabag his opponents. Well, this time he got teabagged by Yo. I don't know if he took a page out of him, but I thought it was really funny. But in the end, it was Wato who picked up the win on Dragon Dia, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Our main event, we have the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosa Fujita and Robbie Eagles, who now came back with a mustache, takes on Kukai and El Desperado. I thought this match was fantastic. I mean, El Desperado, a former champion in both tag team and singles. Well, him teaming up with someone else was rather new, because in the past he used to team up with Kanemaru, but we all know where he is. But this match ended with, of course, when Robbie pinned Kukai, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, they get the first 2 points. I thought some moments are interesting in this match, this event. I have to say, the teaming between the unaffiliated and the Bullet Club War Dogs, that is an interesting one that I think is fun. And of course, the main event was awesome too. So pretty much that's how it is. So I think we do have another event coming from this, but we'll see. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on with our last and final review, Ring of Honor. Okay, Ring of Honor, our last review. We opened up with singles action. We have Angelico taking on Mascara Dorada. Now, some of you may question, why is he here? Well, what you guys don't know is already been announced that he'll be battling our current ROH World Champion, Bandito. This is going to be part 2, but that's going to be another time. So Mascara Dorada has to warm up and exactly send a message to Bandito. And now he faces a guy who has been wrestling in Mexico for years, and that is, of course, Angelico. Now, of course, many of you would have thought Angelico would have picked up the win, since he is a wrestler from there. But Mascara Dorada was able to walk away with the win when he applied a shooting star press, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, se acabó. Now, our next match is a 6-man tag team match in a very interesting matchup. Team number 1, we see Jay Lethal teaming up with Adam Priest and Dynamite Kid Tommy Billington. I have to say, fantastic team. I have to say, what a great team. But their opponents is a team we have seen before for years, the Dark Order, Evil Uno, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. Now, I have to say, it was a pretty good match. But also, what I did like is Lethal, Priest, and Billington as a team. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys become the next ROH 6-man tag team champions. I don't know if Lethal ever won those titles before. I gotta look it up to be sure. But yeah, and I have to say, it was a fantastic match. I'm not gonna lie. We did see a single leg crab hold by Adam Priest to Reynolds, and just like that, Reynolds had no other choice but to tap, and it was 1. Now, we did see a bit of a video promo from someone you all know, the current ROH Women's World Television Champion, Red Velvet. Remember, Mina Shirakawa was the interim, but now the interim belongs to Mercedes Moné. Now, of course, Red Velvet is not stupid. Now it's been revealed that she's medically cleared, and now she wants to get her hands on Mercedes Moné, because she's telling her, hey, I'm the real champion. You're just the one who's keeping it warm for me. So that's what exactly is happening. So we'll see where that leads. I wouldn't be surprised in two things. This could happen either in an AEW match or in a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. That's one of the things I don't know, but we'll see. Now our next match, as you know, we are waiting for more on the tournament for the first ever ROH Women's Pure Wrestling Championship. Diana Purrazzo takes on Angelica Risk, and now, of course, like I said, my money is on Diana Purrazzo to win the tournament, and of course that's something we have been expecting. And of course, with her experience, it allowed her to pick up the win on this one on submission to Angelica Risk, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match, we did see, of course, Yuka Sakazaki teaming up with Windsor. Yep, Alex Windsor taking on Aaliyah James and Billy Starks. Now, of course, it's interesting to see Billy Starks teaming up with someone else. But there was a moment when Aaliyah James just tagged herself in, like, what the hell, in that kind of moment. But, however, at some point, Billy Starks just walked out, left her in the dusk. And of course, Yuka Sakazaki's like, okay. So just like that, it was over for her. Aaliyah James was left in by herself to defend herself. But it was Alex Windsor who picked up the win for her team when she pinned James, and it was completely over. Now, we did see a bit of another video promo with Jay Lethal along with Tommy Billington and Adam Priest. It seems like he was enjoying themselves, knowing that this is exactly a team that should be working together. And not to mention, of course, Lethal hasn't forgotten about Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, so sooner or later he may have to deal with them. But that's going to be at another time. Now, our next match, we did see last time, Aladon and GYV. They got their moment where they won. However, they were not happy. But they had to deal with their next opponents, Dream Girl Ali, Leroy Shogun, and Bryce Cannon. Now, of course, it's no obvious that this match was going to fall in favor to GYV and Aladon, because Aladon picked up the win by pinning Dream Girl Ali, sending her to sleep. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match, we have Griff Garrison of the Frat House taking on Commander. Now, what's interesting, many of you know this, wherever Griff Garrison goes, the Frat House are not that far behind. And of course, Bernard the Bear was there, who we haven't seen for quite some time. And now he's helping the Frat House, which is really messed up. And not to mention, they get themselves involved in the match. But Commander walked away with the win when he applied a springboard shooting star right after he got rid of every Frat House member. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So I have to say the show was pretty good. And of course, anybody noticed this was at Jacksonville at Daly's place that took place. So it's interesting. So yeah, so that's pretty much what happened on Ring of Honor. We'll see what happens next week. But as of right now, we're moving on, of course, with our last and final thing, news updates. Alright, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin, as always, with upcoming events. And we have a ton from GCW on that stuff. So let's begin. As you know, we got the Hartford, Connecticut event on the 7th of November with You Wouldn't Understand. They announced a 6-man tag team match, of course. Alec Price and Jordan Oliver will team up with legend himself, Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, which is going to be awesome. They take on the Vandal 48, consisting of Atticus and Otis Cogar, along with Christian Napier. They're saying they're family. I don't know much about that. Then we have their debut at the state of Maine, called Massacre in Maine, on the 8th of November. They announced Maki Ito taking on KJ Orso, formerly known as Fuego. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. And then, of course, they have their Vermont event the 9th of November, Green Mountain and Me. They announced the GMW title will be on the line. I don't know what promotion is that one, but their champion, Mike Skylos will be defending it against, of course, the bad boy, Joey Janela. And then, of course, the 22nd of November, we have Dream On. They announced Sam Stackhouse taking on Beastmaster. That's going to be a total hoss fight right there. And then, of course, they will be making their debut appearance at Seattle on the 4th of December. They announced for Say You Will. Names have been mentioned. The first four: Effie, Alec Price, and Jordan Oliver as a tag team, Acticus Cogar, and Matt Tremont. And then the following day, they'll be returning back to LA for the UCC 4, of course, the highest down of 4. They announced two names. We have Drew Parker and the tag teams, the Brothers of Funstruction. That's pretty much it for the GCW. Let's keep continuing on with. Give me a second, folks. Bueno. Bien. He's fine. He's just lying down watching the window. I mean the door. Dormido. No, he's in the headrest. Okay. I just took him out. Okay, no problem. Okay. Okay. Bye. Sorry about that. So anyway, we continue more with the upcoming events. As you know, Prestige Wrestling will be having their final 3 shows, and one of them is called Big Kiss Goodbye on the 2nd of November. They announced Amira will be taking on Ricky Morton, and then of course we have Deadlock Pro Wrestling with the Showdown in Cary on the 7th of November. There's going to be an eliminator match for the DPW National Championship. We have Trevor Lee versus BK Westbrook. And then, of course, we have the collaboration between, of course, Prestige Wrestling and West Coast Pro. I'm going to assume this is one of the final events that Prestige will be participating. We have 3 title match and 1 non-title match. We have the West Coast Pro World title, the World Tag Team belts on the line. We have the Crush Boys, Titus Alexander and Starboy Charlie, defending him against the Young Dead. I don't know who these guys are. And then we have the West Coast Pro, a Golden State Championship. Alpha Zoe will defend it against Travis Williams. And then we have the West Coast Pro Women's Championship. Johnny Robbie defends it against Amari. And then we finally have Jordan Cruz versus Andrew Cass. And then, of course, we have Beyond Wrestling, and this one was a very interesting one. They're going to have the November Karana that takes place on the 14th 11th. They announced, of course, Lady Lee. Many of you may know her as Jin Tala. Basically, this will be her first appearance after being released from WWE. It looks like her 30-day non-compete clause will probably be finished right there. Then, of course, finally, we have the RevPro Wrestling on the 23rd of November, being at the AMHF Imperial. The Miyu Yamashita will be taking on Kanji. So that's pretty much what happened for the upcoming events. And now to some developments. There's going to be a collaboration by the end of this year between 2 promotions, Wrestling Revolver and Battle Arts Academy, which is a Canadian promotion. Many of you may know that promotion that is run by Santino Marella. And of course Ethan Page and Josh Alexander even participating in many stuff down there. They said that this is a partnership that's going to happen. They haven't announced. They haven't announced what day it is, but it could happen by the end of this year. And it's going to be at the Don Colov Arena in Ontario. So yes, that's a pretty interesting thing. Now, many of you remember recently, CML and Stardom had a press conference announcing their partnership, and apparently another person in the Yoshi world also was there, and that is the current MLW Women's World Featherweight Champion Shoko Nakajima. I don't know what's going on in that front. We know that MLW and CML has been in a good relationship so far. Not 100% officially, but they have been working relationship. Now, finally, some interesting more developments here. Nigel Mcguiness has re-signed with AEW, and that's something that's been mentioned. Now, I'm going to read a statement from him, and this is what he had to say. My manager and agent sort of handled all sides of things. I just signed along the dotted line. I knew we did. So we sort of re-upped when it came clear that I'm gonna be getting in the ring again. Just sort of like an amendment to it. It's essentially the same contract, I believe, and this was at the Magic Wrestling. Now, Taro Okada had some things to say about Azuki and Koguma participating in CML. Many of you know this, that they will be participating in the Amazonia Grand Prix. This is what he says. Both of them have long careers in stardom. We sent them to this CML ring with confidence, and I believe they have earned the recognition of everyone in the Grand Prix. And I expect them to aim for victory as the first Japanese women in history to win it. So yeah, it's Okada, of course, is putting his faith in both Azuki and Koguma because it's true they do have a long-standing history in Stardom. And it's no secret. Don't forget, these two ladies started out as roommates. Then, of course, they debut against each other. They became rivals, and then they became friends again. Well, you can say they're like frenemies or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I think happened. Now, as you know, the more things have been coming up about the situation with Andrade. As you all know, he was fired from WWE because of a wellness policy, and of course, it was later revealed that he is in a one-year non-compete clause from TKO, saying that he cannot compete. And of course, the one thing that's BS from what we're hearing, he's not being paid for that, and it's stupid. And of course, I mentioned David Otunga saying that he should sue this, and of course, the judge will fall in his favor. However, um, there's PW Insider said that he's been getting reports from various sources that this is what they're saying, that the belief that WWE is trying to enforce Andrade a one-year non-compete clause to bring him back to the company. So, in their opinion, from what they're telling, they're saying that this whole thing is more like, listen, you're going to be gone for a year, so you have no option but to come back. So that's what they're saying, but we haven't heard what exactly Andrade is going to do. I know some people say he's probably better off somewhere else. That's something we could uh, accept. So we'll see what happens. Now, Mike Santana had an interesting thing. Many of you may not know this. He wants one last dream match that he wants to do, and that dream match is to face the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Yes, you heard me. And this was on the Stunner Network, and this is what he said. I have one dream match left, and I have been thankful and blessed enough in my career to have worked some amazing people up, and a lot of guys I grew up watching, idolizing, and one of those guys that's left is AJ Styles. I have seen once, and I said it again, I want to wrestle AJ Styles one-on-one in a TNA ring for the world title. I have to say, I would love to see that. I mean, would you guys see it? I know I would. So, can't wait to see it. Now, many of you may know this already, that of course Wes Lee was released from the promotion, but however, it was later reported, there was from Fightful Select, that apparently it's been confirmed that there was that of course many of you know this, Wes Lee's been with WWE mostly on the NXT brand for 5 years, and apparently they had no plans whatsoever to put him in the main roster. Now, I know some of you would think it's kind of horse crap for WWE to do that. No, I get it, guys. Look, they have this tendency over years, who is worthy, who's the person who will be the it factor, people that will be a draw, and they just don't see him as one of those guys. And I get that part, but they could have just given him a chance to see what happens. But hey, that's their call, and there's nothing we can do about it. But there are those that hope maybe he'll be returning to TNA or somewhere else, but we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what he has to say. But as of right now, we are officially done with our news updates. Let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode, and of course, I apologize for that light up there going poltergeist on me. But I have to say, I got this done. I did have another light right here that kind of helped me out a bit, but I'll see if I can get that fixed as soon as possible. But anyway, for our next episode, I am fully aware that we do continue with more of Super Junior Tag League by New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. So we will continue with more on that. If there's any other reviews I might do, I may want to finish up with Mighty Gold. As you know, we're heading to the next big show, the Grand Destiny, which is going to be an awesome event, and I can't wait to review that. But as of right now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.